We are close to the last stretch of cards. Positive vibes. There are better views from the high road. I sincerely do not know what to make of this one. Does the high road mean the road in which you challenge yourself? Does the high road mean when you reach the summit in your career, whatever that may be, the summit in your current position, say job wise, or as a parent, as a spouse? Or is it one of those superiority complex types of view where it is based off what you achieve as a person, your accomplishments, the collection of them being tallied up, and that makes the high road? Maybe it's just literal. When you are in a place that is high altitude, you can see the landscape, you can appreciate other details, stuff like that. I remember a time when one of my managers, who was definitely ambitious, and she is now, let's see, then she moved up, close to my group in age. She's like a year older than me, come to think of it. And when she started at my place, my store, she didn't start off as entry level. She started off as a supervisor. She is currently 4 positions above where I'm at because I'm still entry level. And then she had 1 position, then went up to another position, then another position, and now she's still at the current position she's inhabiting. And knowing her, I don't stay in touch with her like that anymore, but knowing her, she's probably pursuing one more climb, or maybe a lateral. Maybe it's the same level but lateral. I don't know, because honestly, I'm not very familiar with uppity management like that. I don't have a reason to know that stuff. But just to give an example, when she was my manager, not supervisor, but the next level, more managerial, managing people, managing schedules, managing career developments, scrutinizing performance, stuff like that. She was one of those people who told me, I think she was the first one to really try to pressure me a little bit. She said, I want to see you move up. And then she named some other people. And then she said, I just wish that you guys would see it from where I'm at. Meaning that the more she moved up, the happier she was. And then I had to stop her and tell her the truth. I said, look, I'm not an ambitious person. You're an ambitious person. You know that I am not motivated by money. You're motivated by money. And I know that money is important and that I should be motivated by money and I should fear not having money. But try to understand that I cannot live happily exchanging the circumstances needed of me to pursue those things. In other words, sacrificing my schedules, sacrificing my body, sacrificing my time at home, just all those sacrifices that you have to make, because more time of yours is going to be expected to be given to this company so that you can pursue moving up. And when I thought about what it would mean for me to move up, all I saw was misery, frustration, sacrifice, stress, accelerated aging, accelerated breakdown of my body. And I just could not fathom how that would be good for me. What is it about doing those things and climbing up in the social ladder as well that I can see myself benefiting from? Not about them, not about others. I'm talking about me. Because sometimes the folks who want to move up, they have their immediate goal, which is, well, the financial gain and the ability to afford a fancier place, something like that. But what about that new perception that those around you are going to have of you? Now you're going to have to respond in ways that are new, that may be more demanding. The peers who you were closer to, level wise, your dynamic with them is going to have to change. And I personally like to continue to relate to the people who are at the very bottom because I come from the very bottom. I have embraced the very bottom. And I feel like I, as a person, with my goals, my ambitions or lack thereof, my desires, my genuine, authentic identity, I belong on the floor. I belong on the bottom. Even if I have the potential of being up there, even if I have what it takes, even if I have the charisma, even if I have the experience, even if all of those traits that you can compile about me that should mean that I'm more than just a cashier, which my current manager during my last job evaluation, he said that. He said, "How can I help you? Because you should be more than just a cashier right now." And then I once again explained and reinforced that that lifestyle doesn't suit me. And I would rather be sincere about it and live a life of sacrifice, misery, stress on the edge about, oh my God, if I have a severe emergency, it may wreck me. I would rather have that than day after day after day after day be trapped in a role that I don't belong in, and my inability to explore other things in a healthy way simply because I'm poor and I don't have access to education. And I could access the education by getting in a ton of debt, but then what peace do I get out of living in debt? That's what I'm saying. I like to live in a way that conforms to what I find reasonable to manage. I know people get it when I say that, people understand it. I like to live and project my beliefs because this is what I truly feel. But out of the fear of disasters and bills and all those things, I gotta slave away. Otherwise, or else, I feel like that's living a life under threat. I cannot imagine being able to continue to live authentically as I am now, having to respond to and represent an organization in a way that does not conform to my values. In other words, I cannot fake it till I make it. I just cannot do that because then in the future, if I look back into my past, I want to be proud of the choices I made. And for me to push myself mentally and physically to pursuing those things, I cannot imagine in retrospect in the future being like, I should have moved up more within that company, or I should have worked more to live at the fancier place. If I were to evaluate my past, because say today is my last day here, I would feel proud that I lived honestly. I lived based off everything that I believed in and everything that I preached and everything that I stood for. And I even encouraged others and tried to protect others who had their goals, they had their quest, but I also tried to keep their feet on the ground here on earth as opposed to let them continue to just float aimlessly. And what I mean by that is some people legit get so involved into their job, their work, that you don't even know your kids' names. You don't know what your friend's favorite color is. You don't remember birthdays. You don't remember shit because you don't exist outside of your identity as a worker. I want to exist as someone who, those who have an impact on me, I legit remember things about you. I remember your family members. I remember your birthday. I remember if you have ever told me where you want to be buried or have your ashes scattered at. I want to remember that. I want to remember who you stood for, what you stood for. But when you are consumed full time by an institution, by an organization, you simply cannot juggle and manage all those things accurately and with precision. And some people love to point out how I have a good ass memory. Like, how do you remember that shit? How do you remember my birthday? How do you remember my license plate? My boyfriend doesn't even remember his license plate. I know his license plate and even my childhood license plate that my mom had. Little things like that. I'm proud of that. But other people can only triumph in their field. You can only be successful in what you work at full time. I like to be successful living out here in the wild, actually responding to the people I check in with daily and not falling asleep on them as they tell me things because they're so fucking dead tired. Those little things. I value living simply, humbly, and not being overly consumeristic. I'll never be able to not be a consumer. That's just the truth and the way it works, and I'm gonna have to accept it. But at least when it comes to me, I have very clear who the fuck I am. And ambition has no place in my body. I try places to eat. I'm always going to need to eat. Fund my eating habits because I like to do that. And by extension, I like to share my experiences here with you guys. But I don't even have an identity as a consumer. Leggings, I already bought all of the leggings that I could have possibly cared for and wanted. It was a ton, and it took me years to collect them. But now my rush, my high, my ambition of collecting leggings is over. It only lasted like 4 years, 5 years, I sincerely can't remember. But now it's over. And that doesn't bring me joy anymore because it's over. It's a new season for me. Now I'm in the season of, okay, everything that I have always wanted and desired, like that, material wise, is with me. And the other stuff found me. And I didn't even have to put any kind of effort to get it. And I'm just glad that it happened the way it did because I'm happy with or without it. But outside of that, when I try to imagine pursuing something, I just do not see that point. Call me a bum if you want to. I don't care. I just know that I'm happy in a future when I know my end is near. I cannot say I would regret doing this because at least I don't have a history behind me of, in the name of moving up in my career, I had to fuck over some people. I had to exploit other people. Or say, in the name of having my fortune, I had to abuse some people. I had to take advantage of some people. Those things that you had to sacrifice on your end, or the sacrifices that you obliged others to perform because you had to pretty much blackmail them into doing things for your benefit and yours only, and you weren't even willing to share the gain. I can say nobody has suffered from me. Nobody has suffered from my ambition. It's we have worked together, we have suffered together, we have persevered together, and whenever it was time for you to go or move up, you did your thing, and I kept doing my thing. You don't owe me anything, I don't owe you anything. We mutually helped each other survive. I value that camaraderie, if you will. But the ongoing joke I have with my managers is my supervisors, I'm happy with them. They're close to me. Now, once you're one position above that, it's like, okay, you can't really hear me as much anymore. So we're not tight anymore. Now, when you're the next position above that, it's like, not only can you not hear me, but now you can't see me. And in order to see me, you need other people's assistance. But in my case, I'm different because of my experience and the impact I have on my team. I make myself more visible, but it is because of my naturally recurring prodigy level, because of my experience. But outside of that, if I were just any other average person, the only way I would be on anybody's radar is if I'm causing issues. See what I mean? I'm not proud of that. I'm not proud of being in those positions where that's how I have to scrutinize people. I'm proud of being able to exist, get by, and obtain what realistically I need in the now, not in the future. Because, like I've said before, the future is not guaranteed for me. But the now, what I need for the now, is with me. And even if my health for some reason were to go downhill and I needed more resources like fucking healthcare or anything like that, it's like, oh well, I'm not worthy of those services. I'm not in the privileged bracket of people who can access that. I'm no veteran. I'm no full time worker. I'm fine with that. Let me die. Let me rot. Let me be a complete waste of life. But that would still be living conforming to what I believe in, which is I didn't believe in exploiting myself to earn that privilege. So let me die. Because clearly, this is a society that doesn't value me because of my social status and because of my, I guess, occupation. Who's gonna notice that I'm gone? Nobody cares. Only those who are impacted by my existence would. But practically speaking, literally speaking, my mom, she no longer needs my help. She is now supporting herself, getting support from others. I'm not really supporting her in any way except I am the manager of her phone bill. That's about it. Here, my boyfriend, he could be perfectly independent. Like he was doing just fine before I came into the picture. I could be fine if I let go of my apartment, which I'm perfectly ready and equipped to do if I needed to do that. Become part of the system of homeless people or those who live in their cars. I'll figure it out. I just refuse to be bullied into submission out of fear of losing the goodies I have. That just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't compute with me. And that's why I also make the conscious, responsible choice of not wanting to be a parent and making sure that I'm never a parent because those circumstances would need to change for the benefit of that creature to be responsible or give them up to the system because I'm not qualified to parent on paper. That's simplicity. So for me, there is just no high road. I don't have a concept of the high road. What is it like to view things from the high road? What does this mean? I know what it means to me. To me, it means nothing. To me, my current circumstance of being at ease with myself, peaceful with myself, and accepting what it is that I have and don't have, that is the high road. That is what makes sense to me. You guys feel free to take this and apply it to you and delight me with this because I sincerely do not know what else to tell you. I have no concept. To me, I don't compute this. I don't understand the meaning of this. Word for word, literally, this is like TV static in my brain. I don't know what this means. So I just attempted to give it definition. But maybe you guys know what this means. Maybe you have experienced it. Let me know. Who knows? Maybe you'll convince me and change me. I'm not looking for that, but I can only speak for myself and tell you my version of how I see things. As a loser, or whatever the insulting word for my status is, I don't care. I sincerely don't. Now, what I do care is the harm I cause unto others. And as far as I'm aware, I'm not causing any. Well, there you guys have it. That's it from me. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.